The full moon in Sagittarius is here. And it is asking you one question. What do you actually believe? And is it still true? See, we opened May with the full moon in Scorpio, right? We were excavating. We was pulling everything up from underneath us, really. So the beauty of Scorpio is it doesn't mind going into the hidden, into the dark abyss, the deep abyss of certain truths, certain beliefs, thought processes. It thrives in those areas. But some of us went through a process where we felt like we needed to be resuscitated, that we needed to come back alive. And that's the beauty of Scorpio energy. You go through this rebirth energy. You go through this rising phoenix energy, where the things that you felt like would defeat you or make you feel like a failure end up being where you find your greatest strengths and your accomplishments. So some of us did fall under. Some of us felt like we couldn't swim. But our aspects that are our superpowers that we sleep on, that we do very naturally, they came out just in time to make us feel like we made it. We went through some turbulent times, but we are survivors. Sagittarius is closing it in fire. That energy that I'm speaking on. Now, some of you feel like Scorpio has that sizzle, right? Because they sting sometimes with their truths, with their direct communication. They feel like a fire sign more than a water element. But Sagittarius is here as the fire element to actually close the month out. After a month of deep internal excavation, Sagittarius says, now let's take that truth somewhere. And a lot of us are curious of like, where is that somewhere taking me? Because I don't want to be led astray. I don't want to go to the unknown and not be prepared. The wisdom that comes from genuinely processing your heart's unresolved terrain. And a lot of you are feeling like it's on speedway, like it's going super fast. Time may feel like it's running out for you, but you're not bypassing it. You're not performing it. You're not acting like you made it easy. You're not putting on. But it's the kind that changes your trajectory. We're really tapping into our authentic selves. You know, probably in the past, we could perform our way through it, right? But now is the time to calling us for authenticity, for us to tap into our true nature, our true selves. And a lot of us, as I've mentioned before, saluted to our higher selves. But really, that's just you. And remember, all of it is you, if you really want to be quite frank about it. So with this energy that we're experiencing right now, again, allow that energy to change if it's necessary. You. Let it. Surrender to it. Do not contract with what you discovered. Expand with it. So, as I mentioned before, a lot of us, when we are heading to the unknown, when we don't know exactly our next steps or what is about to appear before us, we restrict ourselves, right? You can feel it in your body how you may be tense, whether it's in your jaw, your shoulders. You may feel even a tense energy in your stomach, or even a strain in your voice when you communicate, because you may be speaking words that may be based in fear or rooted in scarcity. But I challenge you to release, to surrender to the process. So I'm asking you, what is your philosophy? And is it actually yours? I've really been saying this all year, but this energy is really coming up for us to really evaluate that so we can nip it in the bud. See it, let it rise up to the surface, address it, observe it, see how it applies. If it doesn't, let it fly. This journey is asking us to weigh lighter, not to allow ourselves to be carried, to carry the burdens of yesterday, to carry the burdens of regret, sorrow, grief, bitterness, even rage, because some of us are still angry and we haven't released it. So Sagittarius is I perceive. That's their affirmation. I perceive and I see. And that perception is both the gift and the trap. How? This full moon is asking you to audit what you are calling true. What do you believe? Where did it come from? Was it handed to you? Like from your family, a parent, religion, culture, a past version of yourself who was operating from fear? A philosophy that was useful maybe at one point, maybe at 22, right? Maybe a ceiling at 38. Not every conviction you are carrying has earned its place in your next chapter. Your life is the evidence of what you actually believe. So check the evidence. Sagittarius does not do boxes. I don't know if you know any Sagittarius that's out there, but I'm telling you now, they do not want to be on a ball and chain. They don't want you to restrict them. They want to bounce from flower to flower like a bee. This moon is calling out anywhere you have been shrinking to fit in. If you are trying to be invisible, blend in, not be seen, you are going to stick out anyway. You really cannot hide. And it's not even about the public, fear of being seen. It is from yourself, from your own truths. The archer shoots towards the horizon, always expanding, always in pursuit of something larger. Some of you feel dissatisfied right now because you are literally throwing paint on the canvas, seeing what lands, because you feel like I have the talent, I have the gifts, I have the great ideas, but it seems like nothing is landing. So I'm just going to put it all out there and see what does. Some of you are actually frustrated with your creative process. You're frustrated because you feel like at this point in life, you should have measured far beyond where you are right now. If you have been playing small, staying in a container that doesn't fit anymore, going along with the narrative because it keeps the peace, I'm here to tell you this full moon will make that feeling feel suffocating. Now back to Sagittarius, I want to mention this too. this energy feels like rambling. So if I ramble a little bit, pardon me, stick with me, but I'm tapping in the energy of Sagittarius. I notice a lot of Sagittarius have a lot of stories, have a lot of tales, right? They're good storytellers. They take you on this winding road. They give you a lot of information, and you just follow along. You follow along on the ride. Most of the time, you won't ask, when is it going to end? You just enjoy it. You're just so captivated by the experience with a Sagittarius that you just go. That discomfort that you may be experiencing right now is not a problem. Even if it feels like it, it's data, it's signal. Sagittarius does not arrive at a destination and stop. It integrates and keep moving. So I want you to hear that. It integrates and keeps moving. How many of you have felt like you were in a pond? No movement, no current, stagnation. And I'm here to tell you, a lot of you are experiencing that because there is some form of resistance within your energetic field, your makeup, to the change, to the current moving in a certain direction. The expansion is not optional at this point. It is the next leg of the journey. So you got to be open to it. And if you're not, unfortunately, you really don't have a choice. And it's not to make you bend the knee, per se, or make you suffer. It's like that medicine that you had to take as a child. It didn't taste good, but it was good for you. And yes, we do have free will. But to a degree, there comes a point where you meet. It's like this certain point in life where you meet your maker. And your maker, you can acknowledge it to source, creator, God, even your higher self, where there is tension, conflict even, to make certain choices necessary for your growth, necessary for your evolution. Put it down. The urgency, the overextension. I'm even hearing the over-explanation. So if you have an issue with over-explaining yourself because you want people to understand you, don't like being misunderstood, feeling that silence and it makes you uncomfortable, even that is coming up to the surface. The mental load you have been treating as non-negotiable, all of it. Some of what you have been hauling was never yours to carry in the first place. And this moon is making that undeniable. Remember, Sagittarius is I perceive, I see. So even if you were walking blindly all the way up until this point, and I'm hearing negate. So some of you have been purposely blindfolding yourself. Some of you have not been willing to actually take responsibility for yourselves, for the actions that you have taken. Your participation in certain situations that were preventable, that didn't have to last as long, that were meant just for a brief moment, but it extended beyond because you weren't getting the pattern, you weren't recognizing the loop or the lesson that is needed out of that situation. Now I'm hearing the energy of confrontation. not necessarily with anyone else. Now, if you have that confrontation with someone else, it's more so standing in your truth, communicating your truth, communicating, I'm hearing even a transgression. So someone that may have did something foul toward you or even your community, you're calling them out on the carpet and not hesitating on it. If there is a form of negotiation that is taking place right now, you're laying everything out on the table, being truthful based on your perspective, based on your observations, and saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing right here. So what do we do next? Do we move forward? Do we wash our hands? Do we leave amicably? Do we say maybe another time? Or I ain't fooling with you at all going forward. Some of you have had to have some really in-depth conversations, and I'm seeing it closely related to your inner circle, even if it's just an agreement, disagreement, contract. I'm also seeing it with family members, friendships, where you had to have these deep conversations that were uncomfortable but necessary. So again, did you actually need all of that? All the things that you carried? Some of you are evaluating that right now, because some of what you have been moving at that pace for has already served its purpose. Some of you may have not considered that what you have already done and have experienced is complete right now. You think you're about to do another turnaround as far as that track. Imagine that track or that field where you're running and you got to run in a circle. Or even that marathon that you're running. You may think you have one lap left and really is done. So the pace that you were taking to finish, actually you need to take the fuck off. You don't need to say, let me pace myself a little bit more. Let me conserve my energy. Let me make sure I finish strong and I'm not going to be tired. When in actuality, the marathon, the race was already completed. And now you need to just finish strong and not think that you have to conserve and hold on to everything. Even the people. I'm even hearing lifestyles. So what lifestyle do you need to let go of right now? What's no longer serving you? I'm a fan of social gatherings and hanging out, but I even would like you to question the certain things that you partake in or participate in. Do they really serve you? Do they drain you? Do you feel good the next day? Do you end up living in regret of like, I did too much, or that thing didn't sit right with me, but I did it anyway? Especially if you felt the pressure because you were the one that was always saying no and you finally caved in to say yes. What are your values? You do not have to keep building on top of that. You do not have to keep holding on to those past experiences. You've learned the lesson. Now it's time to go. And you know what? I was just thinking this too. It may not even be your lesson. You may be a lesson for someone else or an experience for someone else. That's something to think about. With that being said, let's talk about the friend or foe. The friend or the foe, or the mirror you needed for the road ahead. Sagittarius sits opposite to Gemini. So this is a duality moment right here. Some of you are wrapping up a connection right now, or the clarity around one is arriving. The person you experience as opposition may have been the catalyst that activated something in you that needed activating. The one who always agreed with you may have been keeping you comfortable, keeping you stagnant, keeping you still. So discern what that encounter actually pulled out of you. Take what you need for the next leg of the journey. Release the story around how it looked. Not every connection is meant to be permanent. Some are assignments. Honor the gift and move. Now, I mentioned earlier about feeling. Get in your body, not just your mind. Sagittarius rules the hips and thighs. The part of you that moves, explores, and feels the ground beneath it. Some of you actually may have some tension in your hips and thighs. You know, it may be too tense, it may be too tight. Some of you may be too loose. You may have to literally stretch and walk. And even I'm hearing breathe. You know, our breath travels more through our nostrils and lungs, right? It flows through every part of our body. So breathe life into your hip space, your womb. I'm hearing somebody, torso, your biceps and triceps. Breathe life into those areas. And I know probably some of you are like, how in the hell I'm gonna do that? And set intention. You know how you focus on a certain muscle when you're exercising or stretching or massaging yourself, or even just thinking about a particular part of your body. You can literally send the signal, the energy towards that particular part of your body, and envision breath, and envision energy transferring into that part of your body. Whether it's a white golden light, whether it's blue, I'm even hearing red. Imagine that energy flowing, sending warmth or life into that part of your body. May has been a month of deep internal processing. Heavy, necessary. But this full moon is the invitation to land back in the physical. Are you fully present? And I'm not just talking about mentally active. Actually here in your body. Now, a lot of us want to ascend. A lot of us want to, go through these awakenings and all of that because they want to bypass the earthly plane, the earthly experience. But you're here for a reason. So anchor yourself into the experience so you can experience what you need to experience and then move on. But a lot of us don't want to do the work. We don't want to participate. But understand that you are here for a reason. In your life, as it is right now, as uncomfortable it may be for you right now, be present. Stay grounded. Go outside, move, be in the moment, not just in your mind. Truth is not singular. So I encourage you right now to stay curious and stay open. Sagittarius loves to turn over every stone, explore every angle, sit with multiple truths at once. What looks like a contradiction might actually be a fuller picture. So examine where you have been rigid. Where have you been the one that said, all right, this is it. I don't need any more because this is the answer right here. But you know, like I know how life works, you will come to another point in life where you'll see that there's another truth that either integrates what you've already learned, or actually that truth that you learned in the past no longer resonates and you can adopt a new truth. You have the ability to change your mind at any given point. So examine where you have been rigid, where you have declared this is how it is and closed the door on anything else. Life has more nuance than our conclusions about it. The seeker energy of Sagittarius does not stop at a destination. It arrives, it integrates, and keeps moving. Stay in that energy. Now, there's going to come a point in time, I'm hearing right now, by the end of next year, where we're not going to need to propel as much. But the tides, it's like a churning energy that I'm seeing. Okay? Where it's time for us to move. And it makes sense because, you know, we've been talking about the fire horse energy, you know, a lot of momentum, acceleration type energy this year. So it only makes sense that it's asking us to keep moving. Keep the body moving. Please do not allow your body to get too stiff. Because I'm even seeing that I'm currently on a cleanse right now, a juice cleanse. And I'm seeing how important the circulation is for the next few years, especially because of the energy that's coming through. And a lot of us are coming online. It's asking us to stay physical, to keep our limbs moving, to be limber, I'm hearing, or limber, I think I'm hearing that word, but basically being flexible. Okay? A lot of us need to get in shape. A lot of us need to hydrate. A lot of us are not taking care of ourselves. We getting there. But this type of energy that's coming in, imagine the energy of compression. So the energy is very fiery, it's very hot. So you will literally feel hot and almost like you can't cool yourself. Where sometimes it may even feel unbearable. So if you're going through those type of energetic shifts on this earthly plane, you can imagine you already have an avatar that's kind of dense, right? So that energy is like a compression energy, and you want to be light as possible. You want to be light as possible. That includes physical things like your belongings. That includes energy-wise, what you're holding on to, what you are refusing to let go of. Those things, habits, people you're trying to bring into the new cycle. All of that is coming up to the surface, y'all. We have to remain as light as possible. Aim. Carpe diem. The month has done its work. This full moon is not asking you to keep excavating. Sagittarius is asking you to aim. Where are you going from here? What is the vision now that you have done the heart work? Because remember, we were talking about the matters of the heart for the month of May. Set a target. Close out May with direction and not just reflection. We opened in Scorpio's depth, and we are closing in Sagittarius fire. And I believe that's really intentional. It's not by accident. So seize what is here. And I'm also hearing pursue. Now, I don't want you to think of the energy as far as chasing something. Yes, you can kind of see it like that. But when I'm hearing pursue, it's giving me the energy of doing the things that we know to do and taking off. Not second guessing, not seeking validation from others. I'm even hearing not conforming. Being focused on what's at hand. A lot of you all know your purpose, actually. You do know what you need to do. But I'm even hearing the word oblivious. I'm hearing the word ignore. I'm hearing like not really wanting to commit to it. So you may even have to ask yourself certain questions about your commitment to yourself, about your devotion, about your ability to complete, ability to hold yourself accountable. Not point the finger at anyone else and who slowed you down or made you feel like you couldn't do it. But now it's time for you to be in the driver's seat of your life and make those decisions. So again, the full moon in Sagittarius is here. And it's closing this energy out for you to decide, okay, this is my life, and I'm ready to take off. You're realizing right now that truth is not singular. And I'm going to be honest with you, Sagittarius knows that better than any other sign. This energy loves to travel, loves to learn. A lot of y'all love to cook, explore. I'm even hearing the word navigate. Really, this month closes the way it always intended to, with an invitation to expand into what is true. Release what is not. Move forward with your full perception intact. That is the Sagittarius frequency. That is what this full moon is asking of you. Now, if this full moon is confirming that something in your philosophy, in your perception, your way of moving through the world needs to shift, and you are ready to do that in real time, in community with transmission behind it, I do have the creative transmission open right now. It's actually a live experience. And you will not only just learn a new framework, you will transmit from a new frequency. I'm even hearing true frequency. That is what Sagittarius energy is built for. Expansion that actually lands in the body and changes how you move. All right, so the link is available. Come in. I invite you. I look forward to meeting you and connecting with you. Stay grounded. Filter your water. Go outside and move from the inside out. Be well.